You're just gonna let that sit in there. You're gonna see the butter melt. Once the butters melt and you leave it here too long, it starts boiling and starts coming up and then it's gonna overspill. So once you see the butter melt, mix it and leave it to the side. You're gonna add a little bit of butter. What you're gonna add is half of the fried onions, your veggies, your mixed veggies, your avocado, the edamame and the tomatoes all together, and then half the fried onion you will leave it to the side. The reason why we're putting fried onion in here, half of it is going to be all mixed in, and y'all gonna see how it looks real good. Y'all see how this is. Move it to the side and it should be good. And we leave that on the side because when we're done, this would be placed in the middle. The tuna will be placed half in the plate and half on top of the veggies. The reason why the veggies are hot, when y'all cut this, y'all don't want it directly on top of it because it's gonna still steam and cook, and we don't want it to overcook. This tuna, like I said, we're gonna cook medium rare, so we're gonna leave it kind of where the warm side is up. You can use it a little bit, spread it, but you don't need to. Have your tuna on there. Your avocado, you kind of sear it, and you're gonna cut it into little cubes. You're gonna mix all that together. You will be seasoning this. All you need is salt and pepper, not a lot. This should already be done, just give it a quick mix. It should be looking something like that. All you're gonna do is pour a little bit on there, and you're just gonna mix. You pour it in when all the veggies, tomatoes are cooked. You bring everything together. Like I said, you're gonna do on one side. You're gonna leave a little bit of space, right here, because that's where the tuna will go. For the tuna, y'all will have it seared. I'm just taking the sesame seeds off, but y'all will see. Y'all won't take the sesame seeds off. Y'all gonna see a line come up, and then whenever y'all flip it, y'all gonna see another line come up. Y'all want it, medium rare, a little raw in the middle, cooked in the ends. That's what we want on this tuna. You're gonna put a little bit of oil on the other side and flip it. It should be looking this brown. The sesame shouldn't be black. That's why we cook it over here. We don't cook it down here, because if we cooked it here, you're gonna see all the sesame's burnt and it's gonna be looking nasty. And then plus, if you don't have a sharp knife, it's gonna be really hard to cut. Because then once you cut, it's gonna start to shred. That's why the reason we cook it over here, so we get a good sear. It's brown, but it's also easy to cut. We're just gonna wait for the line to come up, same amount as the other side. The way we cut it, we're gonna cut it in strips, and we're gonna kind of stack them up and place it on there. There's different tunas. Some tunas have a little bit of muscle in them. Those will be a little bit harder to cut. If y'all end up having one of those are a little bit harder to cut, but just don't stress. Just try to cut it as good as possible. But those usually we leave them for the sushi, so they can use it for ground tuna. Then you're gonna have your knife, and then if y'all have a little, I call it shida, but sharpen your knife right before y'all start cutting it. And you're just gonna cut slice. If it doesn't do it, 2 slices, but never go back and forth. All right. What you're gonna do, you're gonna start stacking them. Every time you cut one, stack it. Whenever y'all get to the end, if y'all can't hold it, poke it a little bit, kind of cut it. It kind of looks nasty, bad, but that's how it should be. You're gonna grab it, always from the back, and you're gonna place it when you place it, the rest of the vinegar and soy sauce and butter, you're gonna place it. If you have a little bit left, just give it to the side. And this, you're gonna use it as garnish on top. So it should be looking something like that. And you see how it's kind of burnt on that side because I was cooking it too in the hot. That's why I mean whenever don't cook it way too in the hot, because then the sesame starts can burn. Always cook it where you see the line, right? That's how it should be. If y'all want to taste them,